What's up, everyone? CountBlagorath here with an album review, this time the 2012 Spinefarm Records release of Unsung Heroes by Ensiferum. If you can't tell, I'm a big Ensiferum fan. I absolutely love their entire body of work. I don't think there's really a bad album in their discography. My personal favorite era is this newer one with Petri Lindros, which is, I think, how you say his name. I'm probably wrong, so I'm sorry. Personally, my favorite era, my favorite album by them is Victory Songs. I love the album so much, I bought it on CD and vinyl. I listen to it so much. I know every song by heart. I pretty much know every song by them by heart. And I really, really loved From Afar, but there was something about that kept me from loving it, and it was one song. And that one song was Stone Cold Metal. And the reason why I didn't like it was it changed the entire mood and atmosphere of the record from this very cold, Nordic, and epic sound to a Western American Wild West sort of sound, which really threw me for a loop, and it really prevented me from just loving that record. Don't get me wrong, as I said, I like a lot of the songs on it a lot. Like Heathen Throne is amazing. Just Smoking Ruins is another great one. But I just felt like that song ruined the entire feel and atmosphere of the record. So I really was hoping they wouldn't go for that again on Unsung Heroes, and they haven't, thank God, because this is amazing. This is probably one of the best Ensiferum records in a long time. It's probably since Victory Songs, maybe even Iron. What I love about this album is how it has a very good flow to it. There's nothing that feels out of place, and all the songs are situated in spots where it fits and it doesn't interrupt how the whole record flows, where that's a very crucial thing for me. And as I said, that's what stopped me from loving From Afar. My favorite thing about this album is easily the catchiness of it. The guitars have this very awesome melodic death metal approach to it, yet they have this folk vibe where it's based in Nordic folk music and Finnish folk music, where it provides this very catchy sound, not only through the keyboards, but through the guitars. And that's something that I really like to hear, because I feel like a lot of folk metal bands really rely on the keyboards too much to provide the folk feel, and they just keep regular metal guitars. And that's my gripe with Fintroll, so to speak. I love them, don't get me wrong, they're one of my favorite bands, but I feel like they rely on using keyboards to create the folk vibe, whereas Ensiferum rely on Finnish melodies and traditional folk, how should I put it, playing on the guitars to provide the sound, and then use the keyboards to make it sound even bigger. And that's what I'm loving about this. The riffs are going to be stuck in your head for days. And I just love how heavy the moments of this album can get. Just this crushing death metal assault, but then become this very light-hearted, almost happy, amazingly beautiful sounding melodies. And that's something about Ensiferum that I've always loved, is the ballads and that sort of thing, and they utilize all areas of the band very well. The guitar has a very good tone to it. I love the sound of the guitar. It's very heavy, as I said, and very clean. There's nothing about it that I would change. It fits for their style perfectly, 100%, and I think it's one of the best guitar tones, not only in folk metal, but modern metal. The bass, just very well played. It doesn't do that much from what I can tell, but what it does provide is just an extra layer of sound that really helps push out the record a little bit more. It makes the whole record just sound complete, and that's another crucial thing, is an album sounding completely full. I don't like hearing lots of spaces where things can go. I don't like hearing albums where they have these huge spots where there's something not being utilized. The bass is utilized very well in that aspect. And along with the drums sound great. This is probably the best drum sound I think they've had. Nothing sounds clicky. Everything has a nice punch to it. The snare has a very nice pop, and it sounds almost like a gunshot. And not meaning that in a cheesy sort of Lamb of God way, like on Sacrament. I mean this in a way where it's a clear, focused pop, and there's no echo to it, and I love that. The other thing about the drums is the drum beats and the fills and everything are just so varied on here. They've taken pretty much everything from every Ensiferum record and just piled it into one, especially in the drum department. So that's very good to hear. Then you have the keyboards. The keyboards just take the folk melody that the guitars have provided and just make it even bigger and catchier and more fun and lighthearted, yet it brings on a very dark element and atmosphere to some of the songs. A great example of that is really Unsung Heroes has a very dark, sinister sort of vibe, and I love that sound. It's so awesome. Not only is it folk, but it's orchestral, and I love that. So props to the keyboards for this album. I love that. Vocally, great screams. I love Ensiferum's screams, but my favorite part about them is the clean vocals, which are not utilized as much as they were on past records, which is a little disappointment. Excuse me, a little disappointing. I really, really enjoy how they utilize the clean vocals, where it's more of a choir this time around. There are still ballads, and I like that a lot, and they're not overdone. The ballads on here, the one that I can really speak about is Celestial Bond and Star Queen Celestial Bond 2. The first one is actually all piano, if I'm not mistaken, or keyboards, I should say. It's all keyboards and some guitar here and there, but it's all done with female vocals, and they are absolutely beautiful. When I heard that song for the first time, I was blown away and just floored by how beautiful the female vocals were. And then for part 2, it's all clean singing, and it just sounds so good. The moments to it are very catchy, but yet it's not overly catchy. It's not poppy. It still has that fun sound to it. It still has that Ensiferum vibe, yet it really keeps the seriousness of the record, and that's really good to hear. Overall, I would say this is a very, very good Ensiferum record, if not one of their best. And I'm very happy that they've put out something that can make up for the damage that was done by From Afar, which was Stone Cold Metal. I hate to say one song or one moment of one song can ruin a whole album, but that did for me. If I skip around on that album, I love it. This is an album you can listen to from front to back. And the final song on here, which is called Passion Proof Power, that song is 17 minutes long of just a pure epic metal, just glorious hymn. This song is just beautiful, featuring some extremely bombastic female vocals that sound almost like Tarja from former Nightwish. Just really great stuff. It just has that cinematic vibe that I love about Ensiferum's epic songs, especially the really long ones. And it's just composed extremely well. And then the bonus track, Bamareo, which is a Gypsy Kings cover, is absolutely awesome. They kept the spirit of the original, yet they made it their own, and I love that. So it's a great note to end the album on, and if you see this in the store, definitely pick it up. I'm really wanting to buy the DVD case version with the bonus DVD and the poster flag, so I can have all the flags of the last 3 records, so wish me luck on that. But yeah, For a score, I'm going to give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. Definitely a great record you should all look into. So, yeah, that's my review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.